1972 might be the most important year in music history that nobody talks about. While everyone remembers the big stars, there's a hidden layer of musical history, incredible songs that hit #1 then vanished completely from our cultural memory. From instrumental oddities to soulful ballads that defined a moment then disappeared, these 10 tracks tell us more about 1972 than any history book. They captured emotions, movements, and cultural shifts that the big stars couldn't, and today we're bringing them back to life. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. #1, Brandy, You're a Fine Girl. Have you ever wondered how a song about a barmaid in a harbor town became one of 1972's biggest hits? Brandy, You're a Fine Girl, by Looking Glass wasn't just a catchy tune. It tapped into America's love affair with Tales of the Sea. This New Jersey band created a character we all felt we knew, a barmaid pining for a sailor who couldn't give up his ocean life. The song hit #1 in August 1972, giving us a story with actual characters in a world we could picture in our minds. The song's maritime theme offered Americans an escape during the final years of Vietnam when we needed it most. #2, Nice to Be With You. Sometimes the simplest songs make the biggest impact. Gallery's Nice to Be With You contained just 112 words, yet became a massive hit in early 1972. This Detroit band's straightforward love song climbed to #4 on the Billboard charts and sold over 1 million copies. The timing couldn't have been better. As America dealt with the ongoing Vietnam War and the first rumblings of the Watergate scandal, Gallery offered 3 minutes of pure musical optimism. Lead singer Jim Gold reportedly wrote the entire song in just 15 minutes, proof that inspiration often strikes quickly. Despite this major success, Gallery never found their way back to the top 10. Their follow-up singles, I Believe in Music and Big City Miss Ruth Ann, barely registered with listeners. The band perfectly represented the early 70s shift toward accessible, radio-friendly music after the more complex and politically charged sounds of the late 60s. #3, I Can See Clearly Now. Many music fans are surprised to learn that I Can See Clearly Now wasn't a Bob Marley song. This uplifting reggae-influenced hit came from Johnny Nash, a Texas-born singer who spent considerable time in Jamaica collaborating with reggae pioneers, including Marley himself. Nash's cultural crossover introduced mainstream American audiences to Jamaican rhythms years before reggae became widely popular. The song topped the charts for 4 weeks in November 1972, arriving at the perfect moment when Americans desperately needed its message of hope as the Vietnam War was winding down. Though Nash had some minor hits in the 50s and 60s, he never again reached the heights of this signature song. #4, Popcorn. In 1972, an electronic instrumental with bubbling synthesizer sounds burst onto radio stations across America. Popcorn by Hot Butter wasn't just unusual, it was revolutionary. This studio project, led by keyboardist Stan Free, took composer Gershon Kingsley's 1969 creation and transformed it into a top 10 hit that reached #9 on the Billboard charts. Those distinctive popping sounds and futuristic melody arrived when the Moog synthesizer was just beginning to transform music. The song's success wasn't accidental. It appeared when America was fascinated with space exploration and future technology. Electronic music provided the perfect soundtrack for this forward-looking era. While instrumental hits weren't rare in the early 70s, Popcorn stood apart with its playful electronic approach. Hot Butter never charted again, but their single contribution opened doors for electronic music in mainstream pop, predicting the synth revolution that would come years later. #5, Convention 72. Politics and pop music collided in 1972 when a song about a presidential convention actually made the charts. Convention 72 by the delegates captured the intense political atmosphere surrounding the Nixon-McGovern election, taking advantage of Americans' heightened interest in politics during this divisive period. The song featured spot-on impressions of political figures set to an upbeat tune that made political commentary surprisingly danceable. It peaked at #36 on the Billboard Hot 100, which is remarkable for a novelty song about electoral politics. What's fascinating is that the delegates weren't even a real band. They were studio musicians assembled specifically to record this timely hit. Their very name was a clever play on the convention delegates they were imitating. Once the election ended, so did their brief musical career, making this song a perfect time capsule of both the 1972 election and the politics meets pop culture trend of the era. #6, Precious and Few. The early 70s radio was packed with love ballads, but climax Precious and Few stood out with its emotional honesty and Sonny Garassi's powerful vocals. Reaching #3 on Billboard in early 1972, the song starts with a gentle piano before building into a full orchestral experience. Climax arrived at the perfect moment when music was shifting from the rebellious 60s sounds to more polished, production-heavy pop. Their timing couldn't have been better. The lyrics reflect changing views on relationships in the 70s. Precious and few are the moments we two can share wasn't about eternal, perfect love. It was about appreciating limited time together, speaking to a more realistic understanding of relationships. Number 7, In the Rain. Soul music was changing in 1972, and no song captures that evolution better than In the Rain by the Dramatics. From the first seconds, you hear actual rainfall and thunder before a haunting, whispered introduction sets the mood. This wasn't just another love song, it was an emotional experience. The Detroit vocal group had been performing since the 60s, but this Tony Hester composition finally brought them mainstream success, reaching number 5 on the Billboard charts. What makes the song special is how it uses rain as a metaphor for emotional release. I'm Gonna Go Outside in the Rain isn't about getting wet, it's about finding space to process difficult feelings. Number 8, I'm Doing Fine Now. One group's rejection became another's big break when the Spinners turned down I'm Doing Fine Now, a decision that gave New York City their moment of fame. Recorded in 1972, but peaking at number 17 in early 1973, this upbeat gem showcased the magic of Philadelphia soul. The legendary Tom Bell wrote and produced the track, bringing his signature, lush orchestration and optimistic spirit. Singer John Brown and his group delivered the uplifting message perfectly. Those opening strings and the triumphant chorus about moving past heartbreak, I'm doing fine now, my heart is no longer sore, gave Americans something positive during challenging times. Number 9, Playground in My Mind. Who would have thought a song featuring children singing about a playground would become a massive hit with adults? Clint Holmes's Playground in My Mind reached number 2 on the Billboard charts in 1973, though it was recorded the previous year. That catchy, My Name is Michael, I Got a Nickel chorus, sung by Holmes's son and other children, became instantly recognizable across America. The song tapped into growing nostalgia as the optimistic 60s faded and economic troubles loomed. Adults found comfort in memories of simpler times. Holmes, previously a CBS radio announcer, suddenly found himself thrust into pop stardom. Number 10, Hot Rod Lincoln. When a band named Commander Cody and his Lost Planet Airmen hit the charts in 1972, they brought something completely different to the radio. Their cover of Hot Rod Lincoln, a fast-paced story about a car race, reached number 9 on the Billboard charts. This wasn't a new song. Charlie Ryan recorded it back in 1955, but Commander Cody's frantic delivery made it fresh. While most early 70s music was getting smoother and more produced, Hot Rod Lincoln went the opposite direction with raw energy and storytelling. The band, led by George Frayne, mixed country, rock, western swing, and boogie-woogie in ways that confused radio programmers. They gathered a dedicated fan base but never hit the top 40 again. These forgotten hits from 1972 tell us more than just melodies we've missed. They show a year when America was caught between optimism and social awareness. The music reveals how complex that moment really was. From Brandy's Seaside Story to the racing tale in Hot Rod Lincoln, these songs paint a picture of 1972 that famous hits can't capture alone. One-hit wonders aren't failures. They're perfect snapshots of specific moments in time. Next time you hear one of these songs, listen for what it tells you about 1972 America. These 3-minute tracks contain more history than you might expect.